Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. It's hashtag Finally Friday. That's right. You made it through another work week. Welcome to the show. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we got a great half hour lined up for you. Some special guests on the show. We're going to be talking films on Film Friday. And we've also got a very inspirational story we're going to tell you about in just a few moments. But my co-host every Friday, he's back again. Frank Cooper in the house. Frank, good morning to you.
Good morning, boss man. Good morning, HCC Universe. How's everybody doing today?
You know, things are good today. It's a beautiful day outside. I know we haven't talked in a little while, Frank, but a lot of things have happened since you've been here last time. Of course, the Astros in the World Series and then out of the World Series. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the injuries caught up to us. I know Greinke had an off year this year, and I have Verlander. Our depth was continuously testing pitching wise, and I think we just ran out of gas.
Yeah, they had a great year, but, you know, second place just isn't good enough for the city. You know, they want another championship. So we'll have to see what happens next year. Frank, a lot more to talk about in sports, and we got some HCC news and announcements we'll talk about as well. So I'll check in with you in a little while.
Absolutely.
All right, man. We'll check in with you later. We've got a couple of guests this morning. One of them is retired Judge Bill Littlejohn. He is with the HCC's an HCC Electrical Technology student, and he's got a great thing he's working on right now. Bill, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's good to see you. We're looking forward to hearing about your story. Got a few things to ask you about. So grab a cup of coffee and we'll be with you in about 10 minutes.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're going to kick things off. It's Film Friday, as we mentioned earlier, and we've got a couple of guests. Jessica Green is the artistic director with Houston Cinema Arts Society. And once again, returning to the show, Jenny Waldo, a filmmaking program coordinator here at HCC. She's got a new film out. We'll be talking about that. Good morning to both of you, ladies.
Good morning.
All right. So, Jessica, we're going to start out with you. We'll talk about a film festival you have coming up. Maybe you can tell us about the dates of the film festival, where people can catch it. Just give us all the rundown on that first.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me just thank you again, Todd, for having me back and having us back. And we're so grateful for the exposure. And we're so excited about the festival. So it runs November 11th to the 22nd. It's both in person and virtual. We have in-person outdoor events. We have in-person movie house events. You know, film is being shown back in proper, movie houses with proper projection. We have something for everybody. And we have an incredible virtual platform also. And the theme of the festival this year is the Third Coast. So we are so excited also to be including Jenny Waldo's incredible film, which embodies everything the festival is about this year and the theme entirely, right? Which is all about paying tribute to the Gulf Coast and paying tribute to the Third Coast and the peoples and the arts and the music and the cultures and the films and the politics. Yeah.
Well, you know, for those of you just joining us who may not be familiar, Third Coast has been used in the film industry for many years to describe where we live. And Texas is that really, you got the East Coast, the West Coast, where everybody knows films are made there. But the Third Coast is Texas, and we are open for films. And we've got a lot of them down here. Maybe you can tell us about that theme. We're going to talk about Jenny's film in a moment. But what are some of the other highlights?
Yeah, and let me just say, totally. Yeah, and I just want to add, everything is on cinemahtx.org.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So we'll have that link in our social media posts.
Yeah. And everything is there. And yeah, it's an incredible, and again, Jenny's film is so beautiful and I'm so psyched for her to talk to you. But yes, we open with Red Rocket, which is an incredible film from the director Sean Baker, who is entirely on a roll. It is set in Texas City. So this is really a Third Coast film. It is set in an area right in between Galveston and Houston, and it has local crew, involved in making this film and local actors, and they will be in the house on opening night on November 11th at the Museum of Fine Arts. We will have a lot of the local filmmaking crew and actors that were involved in the film in conversation with Sean Baker, the amazing director. So that's our opening night program. We're so excited to be showing Red Rocket. And it also completely embodies everything we're trying to explore in this festival and this theme in honor of this area, in this region.
And you've also got a film, which I'm very interested in, Bushwick Bill, Ghetto Boy. Anybody who was in Houston in the 80s and really into music in the 80s and 90s, you know about the Ghetto Boys, and Bushwick Bill was one of their leaders. And maybe you can tell us about this film.
Yeah, totally. Rest in peace, Bushwick Bill. We lost him, a couple of years ago. This is a very intimate portrait. This is Bushwick Bill from the perspective of Bushwick Bill. This is a film he made before he passed. It, encompasses incredible, intimate, searing interviews and insight from the man himself. We are showing it at the Museum of Fine Arts on Friday night, and then we're reprising it at Rice on the closing night of the in-person portion of the festival, Wednesday night. So that film is first going to be shown on the 12th and then also shown on the 18th. And everything is on cinemahtx.org. And it's amazing. It's so well made. And it's really, as with all these films, with Jenny's films, it's a Houston film. It's a film about the region, about the peoples of the region, the cultures. I mean, the Ghetto Boys put Houston on the map.
Oh, yeah.
For a lot of people in the world, a lot of people.
Absolutely.
That's how the first image I saw of Houston in my life growing up in New York was in a Ghetto Boys video on MTV. And that is not an unusual experience to have. So
you also have a film involving climate crisis and systematic challenges. Maybe you can tell us about that.
Yeah, that's a program that we're doing virtually and in person, as is the case with the Ghetto, the Bushwick Bill film. Those are both virtual and in-person programs. This is a program we're doing at Rice on Saturday afternoon. Again, on our website, we're also doing it virtually. It's going to run for a week. It's a series of short films about the environmental movement and environmental solutions in the region in the face of extreme weather, extreme storms, in the face of the climate crisis, and really, films and speakers that are exploring solutions, right? So we can all thrive together and continue to develop this remarkable region that has given this country so darn much. Yes.
And Jenny, your film is also going to be featured there, Acid Test. Maybe you can tell us about that.
Yeah, so Acid Test is a film about a teenage girl rebelling against her family, inspired by Riot Grrrl music. She drops acid, and so it's set in the 90s here in Houston, and we just premiered it at Austin Film Festival, which and I'm just so excited to bring it to the Houston Cinema Arts Festival. I love the Cinema Arts Festival. I've been going, since it started, and it's really, I can't say enough about it. So it's just great to be able to kind of showcase a Texas film in a Texas film festival, and to be able to bring it back to Houston where we shot it. We had students from HCC work on it. So yeah, it's great.
And this, Jessica, this has got to be really what it's all about, with Jenny showcasing her film. She used HCC students to help out on working. It was all shot in Houston. This is really what this festival is about this year, right?
Yes, this is what it's, I think, what Jenny represents and who she is what it's always about, frankly, not just this year, every year, all day, every day. She is an incredible force of nature in the Houston film scene, and has been doing this work, as an artist, as an educator for years, and been an incredible leader at the helm of this work. And us, as an organization, as a film society, we just want to figure out ways to support people like Jenny the best we can. And we're so excited to be showing her film in the festival. It is absolutely everything that this is all about. I'm so excited. There's so many Houston people that were involved in making her film. Yeah. So it's a real local filmmaking story, and a story that we all want to grow. We're all unified on the same page and wanting to make this story bigger. And this is what this is about.
And Jenny, when can they see your film? And do you have a number of guests lined up to join you?
So we are screening Monday, November 15th at 7:30 at the Rice Center. And I know already that our Brian Thornton, who plays the dad, and Reese Ryan, who plays the love interest, and Mia Ruiz, who plays the mom, are all going to be there, as well as my DP, Carrie Ann Parker, and my producers and other people who are coming out from the cast and crew. So yeah, it's definitely an exciting thing. And you can learn more about us at acidtestfilm.com. But again, this program, it's so exciting, and there are so many things. I've been encouraging my students to volunteer for the festival. There are other small programs that I know we're probably running out of time, but like the CineSpace competition and the Borders No Borders short films that are being presented. There's just so much for everyone to enjoy. But definitely you can buy individual tickets to Acid Test, as well as getting passes to the festival. There's a lot to do here.
And once again, we've been talking about the Houston Cinema Arts Society Film Festival. The title this year, Third Coast. They're going to be featuring Texas films and a lot of local ones. Jenny Waldo's premiering her film, Acid Test there. Ladies, thank you for joining us this morning. Once again, Jessica, where can people go to get all the information?
Yes, cinemahtx.org.
All right, we'll have that link in our social media post. Jessica, Jenny, thank y'all for being here again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bye. Thanks,
all
Jenny.
Right, we're going to move on to our next guest, Judge Bill Littlejohn. And Bill, let me ask you, you were a retired judge. I find the story fascinating. Tell us, where did you preside and what type of court were you presiding over?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Duplantis. I retired from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. And I was there on the bench, 20 some years. And we did civil and criminal cases. And before that, I was a prosecutor. Before that, I was a public defender. So I had a lot of knowledge about court procedure.
You know, sir, I want to ask you a question out of all respect, and maybe you can give me your take on this, because you presided in Ohio. Here in Texas, especially in Harris County, we're having a big problem with judges who are placing, people on bond that have been out on other crimes, and it's causing a huge problem in Harris County. Personally, what is your take on that, where that stands, and what do you see to be the problem?
Well, Texas is unique. I'm licensed in Michigan and Ohio and Texas, and I've had a little exposure to the bonding in this area. The community is so diverse from so many different countries, so it's really hard to assure reappearance back in to the courtroom. Yeah. And those who are victimized want to see get justice. So you got to figure out how to get these folk back to court. I think we probably have about 8,000 to 9,000 people right here locally in court. I mean, in the jails waiting for particular court appearances. Right. So bonds, it's very hard. And then those who are victims, they don't want to see the people walking the street again. So it's a lot of information there. And
it sounds like it's a very complex issue, and I've heard a lot about it. I want to talk about your story. You're retired now, but you're looking to do something very unique. You're a student here at HCC, and you want to take your knowledge to Liberia to help pass on knowledge and install solar power. Maybe you can tell us about that journey for you.
Yeah. I got my skills from being president of Habitat for Humanity in Ohio, and I have a love for carpentry and building houses. And I've been to China, India, Africa, several countries. And in Africa, there are 55 different countries on that continent. But I fell in love with Liberia because Liberia and America, Liberia was the place where freed slaves and freed people went to settle. That was in 1822. So we have a 200-year strategic relationship with Liberia. So I went there on a vacation once, and ever since then, I have fallen in love with it. And one day I was just on you all's campus, and I saw solar, and solar is big. You look at, anytime there's an advertisement on TV, you'll see a solar panel or a wind turbine. And absolutely. So let me look into this, because I know 20% of the people, perhaps if they're lucky, have electricity. They can't even charge their telephones. And if they had a 100-watt light bulb, which we take for granted, we would be doing something awesome for the people. So I believe that solar can do that. Solar will create employment opportunities, because we will have men and women repairing and installing solar. And it will spread like wildfire. As you know, it's spreading across America. Right. Right now, you have a tax deferment, I think, for the next 2 years. And but so everybody's aware of solar. Everybody, especially here in America.
And you're working with Matt Adams of the Electrical Technology program to learn all about solar power. When you when you develop the knowledge, when you're certified through the program and get through the program, how does it work? Will you work with investors to go over there and then consult and hire crews to start doing this? What are the plans once you get the training from HCC and executing it over there?
Perhaps all of the above. I must say that Mr. Adams is an outstanding instructor. And I have some great students. I'm the oldest person in the class. We have about 16 students. And of course, they respect me as the judge. And I respect them too. We have 18-year-olds up to 77 years old. I won't tell you who the 77-year-old guy is, but it's probably me. But but we want to take the technology there into Liberia, Africa. And it will make a big difference immediately. Can you imagine living in darkness 12 hours a day, having to wait on the sun to come up?
Right.
Not even, but so we see this and we think that God is involved in this a little bit too, because I should be just resting on my retirement, but I cannot do that. I have to do something with the knowledge I have. And I got great knowledge from HCC on solar energy. And if these young people who are coming out of solar energy, they will be master electricians, and anywhere in the world they would be employable. So people my age, hey, look at HCC and get yourself another skill. Quit being retired.
And you also have some other businesses. You worked with the cosmetology department. You're looking to establish barbering schools in Liberia as well? Yes. I've been in the hair business since wigs and extensions, et cetera, since 2012. And I've also represented the state beauticians and the Houston and Harris County beauticians as their attorney. So I'm really versed in hair. I've been to India to see hair. I've been to China to get hair. People say, where do you get hair? I tell people, anywhere there's some people that has straight hair that can sell it, and they want to sell it, and it's marketable. Wow. And you also, reading in my notes here, of course, you say before Liberia had a civil war, it was as modern as America, yes. Especially Monrovia, the capital city. Tell us a bit about that. Yeah, Monrovia, the capital, was named by President Monroe. Since that time, we had President Bush was there. I think I know Senator Kennedy was there. Michelle Obama was there, and Jimmy Carter was there as presidents. They went there because of this 200-year relationship, a strategic relationship. And so we're proud of that. We're trying to perpetuate that to let them know that America is still supporting you all. And the Civil War basically destroyed everything. And when I was there in June of this year also. And this year they're having a 200-year inaugural that we're going to do December 17th. I'll be there until January, trying to celebrate the relationship, the 200-year relationship with Liberia and America. And what can you tell us about the regions that Africa has been divided in, especially Region 6, which is the diaspora? Yeah, diaspora, we call it. That came from old Jewish terms when they were kicked out of Egypt. So it's real old. But as you all know, that Africa is one of the biggest continents in the world. It's divided up into 5 regions. And the 6th region is not on the continent of Africa. It's everywhere but on the continent. You can be in France or England, America, wherever, Portugal, and you're in the diaspora, which is Region 6. And there's 55 countries in Africa, but we're in Region 6, whereas there's 5 regions on the continent of Africa. Right. So you're looking at getting back over there after the first of the year. Is that your next trip you have planned? I'll go December the 17th, and I return January 3rd, and I'll return there in March. And there's a beautician barber school that I've adopted, and I'm going to take them a lot of information too about the hair business. Hopefully they can start making wigs and hair extensions and create employment there for people. Absolutely. Judge, you are an inspiration to us all. Proof that you just never stop learning in life and being able to help others. We appreciate you being here. Continued success to you and good luck.
Thank you all. Thank you. Have a good day.
We'll have some information on Judge in our social media post after the show. Thanks, Judge. All right, we're going to move on to Frank Cooper with our HCC news and announcement. Boy, Frank, that's a pretty inspirational story. Don't you agree? I mean, 77 years old, and he's about to go over to Liberia again to help people get employed and better their lives.
You know, this is a little did you know fact about myself. My mother's Liberian, so I'm
wow,
American. So to hear that about him putting the work of solar panels in that country, and that country's been war and torn for a long time throughout the 90s, Civil War. So for him to make that difference, man, it means a lot. It really does.
And he not only inspires people in Liberia, but he's inspiring his classmates. He says he's the oldest guy in the classroom, but the others there just have to learn from him. It's just an incredible story. I can't get enough of that story.
Absolutely. It's just a walking reminder that you're never too old to learn. You always learn if you allow your brain to go that route.
All right. So let's get into some HCC news and announcements. The HCC Counseling and Ability Services is partnering with NAMI to bring Mental Health 101 to our community college. So it's happening at 11 a.m. Thursday, November 11th. That's next Thursday via Zoom. The session's open to all students, faculty, staff, and their circle of family or friends to support. So keep an eye out for a link in our social media post, and we'll tell you how to do that. Pitch Perfect Pitch Fest, that's coming up, Frank, too.
Learn effective communication from HCC Speech and Communications faculty and HCC Foundation's board chairman, who will help fine-tune pitch, tone, and nonverbal public speaking with the 9 C's of an effective pitches. The session is a Q&A and either is in person or Zoom. It will be 10 to 11:30 a.m. Friday, November 19th at the West Lewis Campus Center or Zoom. To register for the courses, check out post right after the show. All
right. Friday, November 19th. Remember that date because our financial aid offices will be closed that day on November 19th this year for an all-staff training session. Financial aid services will be suspended for the day, but they will resume Monday, November 22nd. So put it on hold that Friday. They're going to pick it up with you and get back to you on that Monday. So keep that in mind. We'll remind you again as we get closer to that date. Also, Path to Profession is back, Frank.
This program provides students with employment opportunities within their field of study. Students will secure positions with community business partners who will be able to earn money and gather real-world experience to enhance their education. So check out our post after the show for more info on that.
Okay, I'm going to skip on down to spring registration. Spring registration is happening now. You can register for spring 2022. Very easy. You can go to our website, get registered. Yes, if you need financial assistance, we do have a lot of money in grant, in financial aid, and also government grants that you don't have to pay back. We have a lot of money to help out our students for the spring 2022 semester, but you have to enroll first. You have to be a student and ask for the HERF emergency funding. You can enroll today. There are 5 ways to learn, including all online, some hybrid courses, and strictly in-person classes. You want to take those? We got them once again on our campuses. They're very small and they follow CDC guidelines with social distancing. So make sure you sign up early to get the class you want, the professor you want, the time you need to take the class. Go to hccs.edu/now. Okay, Frank. So lots happened since we've seen each other. The Astros went into the World Series and they're out. We already talked about that, but you think injuries they could never recover from that?
Yeah, I mean with Valdez and they had a couple of starting pitchers, pitched bullpen relief in games 2, 3, and 4, and I think over time and pitching, being a starting pitcher and then filling as a bullpen guy. It just wears on you. And I think this is right out of gas towards the end, and that puts pressure on your offense to perform, to hit more, to get more runs in when you're giving up so many runs in the backhand of your bullpen, which is your starters. So,
yeah, it was a tough season for him. A lot of changes on the way. But one thing about that team, You never give up on them, number one. They've proven over and over and over again that they are resilient. They're going to lose some major players again, but each time they do, they come back stronger than ever. So we'll see what happens next year. Hey, the best football team in the city, it ain't your Houston Texans. It's the Houston Cougars. Hey, the Cougs beat a great SMU team. Personally, I think SMU was overrated at number 19, but the Cougs, it was an exciting game, and they really went after them.
They did. I mean, that program is really setting themselves up for the future.
Yeah,
with the move to the Big 12. I mean, gathering these big wins on they had a big win a few weeks ago against Tulane on Thursday night on ESPN, and getting that notoriety going to the Big 12 is really going to help them with recruiting and really bringing in, top line talent, not just in Texas, but in this Houston area.
Yeah, and that basketball program, yeah, they're pretty darn good themselves, man. Boy, they are. They just got the number one, I believe, power forward in the nation for 2022. He committed to U of H yesterday. So they are phenomenal. They're thinking, though, he's going to be a one and done. He'll play for 1 year, then he's off to the pros. But hey, at least we have him for 1 year. So that nowhere but to go, but up for that team. A team nowhere to go but down, Houston Texans. Yeah. Each week I don't even know why. I barely watch them on TV, but when I do, I just watch to see how badly they're going to get beaten.
You find new superlatives and adjectives to explain this team every single week. It's pretty impressive, man. It's pretty impressive. But no, it's just, it's one of those things where, I try to find a shining light in this situation. I've been hearing reports about Miami being interested in pretty much a trade on the table for them to make that trade for with Deshaun Watson to accumulate more picks. If you're Houston, man, your main goal right now is to accumulate as many picks, rebuild. I don't know if David Colley is the long-term answer at head coach. I don't know if he wants to be there long-term, but your goal is to accumulate much talent for the 2022 season and beyond.
Floundering in mediocrity is really what they strive to do. They can't even get there. They can't even be mediocre. For years you thought, well, the Texans, they're mediocre, but every now and then they win a few, and at 9-7 they'll win the division. But that ain't happening anymore, folks. They've gotten worse than worse could ever be. So there you go. If you ever thought, guess what? We've now become Cincinnati South. There you go. All right, folks. Frank, always good to see you. Monday, we've got some special guests coming up. I think Music Monday with a guest from the Houston Press will be here. And also Tasty Tuesdays on the way next week.
Absolutely. We'll serve up Liberty Kitchen for some Gulf Coast favorites.
That is one of my favorite places. I love that place. In our Small Business Wednesday segment, we'll have that on. And then Thursday, Virtual Family Fun Day. We take you out to the Fort Bend libraries. Frank, always good seeing you. We will see you next week. Well, I don't know if we'll see you next week, but we're going to see you in the near future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be on this show. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Frank. Thank all of you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. It's going to be beautiful outside. And we'll see you Monday morning live right here at 10 a.m. on Up to the Minute.